Hi, and welcome to another video in the RHCE video series. Today's video is on software packages and repositories in Ansible. So software packages I won't talk about too much because we've covered it extensively in other videos, but essentially we can install and remove software packages. We can also choose previous versions, or we can choose latest versions and whatnot. So you can do quite a lot with software packages, but it's relatively straightforward and not too dissimilar to what we're going to do here as well. So the main focus of this video is to enable and do a few actions with repositories, and we'll just install a package for the sake of it to prove all the repositories working okay. So let's launch. Here we go. Okay, so I've just got an inventory file at the moment, so it's got nothing other than the single host I care about. So we'll create a new one called repo.yaml. We'll just do the usual 3 dashes. We'll give it a name, enable EPL repo, and install Chromium. So it's pretty much what we're going to do here. We'll just do it against all hosts. Again, we can target that if we wanted to. And tasks. Right, so the first thing, let's add the EPL repository. So if we do dash name enable, install, it really is. Install EPL repo yum underscore repository, yep. And then name EPL, and we can give it a description. Call it EPL repo, all good. And we can then put it in a specific file. We'll call it EPL. So that will make a new, let's just call it EPL, that's enough. So just create a new .repo file. So as you know, it goes into etc. Into the etc directory for the yum repos. Whether DNF or yum is slightly different, but it basically puts it into the relevant folder structure for yum or DNF to basically add it to the repos list, so then we can use those that repo to do subsequent installations and whatnot. So this will just create a EPL.repo. We don't have to specify the .repo because it's known it's going to be that file name. We then got to give a base URL, and let's type this pretty carefully. download.fedoraproject.org/public EPL/ and then we get the release. So we've got this release server. It's got a spot like that. I'll check that. It may be incorrect. Let's see. Base search. Doesn't look right to me, this URL, but it's what I've copied here. So let's just check. We'll give it a go and see what happens. And do we want a GPG check? Let's set that to no, so we can just try a couple of these things here. And we can also say enabled. We can also say yes or no. So if we actually want to enable that repo post the installation. So for now, that should be enough. Let's give it a go though. Let's have name install Chromium, and we then go just do a yum name equals name. It should be lowercase Chromium state equals latest. It should be name equals. Actually, let's do it properly. Let's make it just look nice. So let's just do this. Name equals Chromium. I prefer this formatting, to be honest. And state is latest. So that looks a lot better in my eye. Okay, that should do the job. Let's see what happens. Do a right quit and Ansible playbook -I inventory and repo.yaml. So far so good. I haven't made any mistakes. We've got no client 3, that's fine. I don't expect to have client 3. Should have client 1, should be alright. But we shall soon find out. Hey, it's gathering facts. It's changed, but it was a bit quick. I'm not overly happy about that. Let's see what happens. Maybe it was that quick, but we shall see. Yeah, I think there's something wrong with that URL. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I found a slightly different URL, and let's give that a go. But it looks like it's fine. I don't know what's changed, but let's give this a go again, and we should be successful. We have a change this time, so I think we may be happy. So we can go check on the host very quickly. Actually, so if we just do an SSH 10 0 2.8, we have Chromium installed. Fantastic. So that works absolutely fine. So I installed the repo and I was able to get Chromium. So that's great. So what can we do next? Let's make a new file. Let's not reinvent the wheel. So repo-remove.yaml, and let's go into repo remove. Okay. So we don't need, so we can do yum. Let's make this state equals absent. So we remove the package. We will then, which then is to remove, and we change this to remove, and this to remove. Actually, I don't need the, sorry, so it's been finicky, but let's remove that. And so you got yum repository. We're going to say name EPL. We don't need description. We don't need the file. We don't need the base URL. We don't need that. We need a state. So we just go in here, just do a state, and that's going to be absent as well. And we can also do a cleanup. So if we do a, this line here, notify yum hyphen clean hyphen metadata. So we're going to make it all nice and clean as well afterwards, and then we're going to finally remove Chromium, and we should be back to the state we was originally. So let's give that a whirl. Yeah, that looks all good. So Ansible hyphen playbook -I inventory, and then repo remove. You know what I forgot? So I've created a request to notify something, and I actually have now created a handler. So I need to create a handler to actually action this. So hence why we get this horrible error here. So let's go back in here. So I've got a notify, but I've not got anything to actually handle what I've asked it to do. So if we just go in here and create a new one, and we call it, you have to call it yum clean metadata. and it'll actually do. I'll just run a simple command. Yum clean metadata, and we will just apply an argument to not warn us, because there may be warnings in that and we don't really care. We just want it to clean up and be being happy afterwards, but we don't want it to run until we have removed this. So we do the clean metadata notification here, so we can actually call that multiple times. So we could actually potentially have say if it needs to, we could have this in one in this playbook one time, and then we can have it used over and over again, a bit like a function as such for in programming languages. So we could potentially call it several times if we needed to. So this should be happy now. Now I've added the actual handler which I'm calling. So let's see if that's done the trick. Okay, we've got it changed, so it looks pretty good. So let's have a look at client 1, 10.02.8, and we'll do the RPM grep. We still have Chromium Common because we haven't actually specifically asked it to remove that. So that's a good point. With the installation, it will obviously pull out any dependencies, and with uninstallation, you're going to have to be very specific about what you ask it to remove. And obviously, it hasn't quite removed all the dependencies, hence why I've still got Chromium-Common there. So to make sure this is correct, we're going to fix this quickly up, and we just do a Chromium and then Chromium Common and rerun. Yeah, we got it changed. So let's again SSH, check for Chromium, and now we're finally clear. Awesome. So there we have it. That's pretty much what I wanted to cover, really. So we install the repository to a specific name. Obviously, you don't have to have a specific name filed if you don't want to. We gave it a description. We gave it the base URL to go and get the repository files itself. Yeah, that's pretty much all we want to do. Add it, remove it. We also did a bit of installations and removal of packages. That's really all we really need to cover for this. It's also worth looking at the Ansible documentation for this. There's plenty out there, and you can see all the different options that are available, but obviously there's some more that are available, but a lot of them, to be honest, are pretty edge cases and not ones I use regularly, to be perfectly honest. Yep, I hope this video has been useful to you. Catch you next one. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye. Right now I've just popped up on the screen my TeePublic page. That's for any kind of CSG merch, if that's anything you're interested in. Got my Ko-fi page for any kind donations, if that's something you're interested in. Yep, and also just the details of my Discord server, so that's the best place to ask questions. Also, we've got, obviously, you can ask questions in the comments and I'll try and help out where I can, but Discord place is a great place. We've got a bit of a community going there, and you can reach out to myself and also the community, and someone will try and help you. Yeah, it's a great community we're building there. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you at the next video. Cheers.